What's up guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing this Amazon USB rechargeable flashlight. And USB rechargeable flashlights are relatively new to the scene, but I think they're going to be taking off here shortly with popularity for obvious reasons, not having to buy batteries and stuff like that, and just for convenience. This is a no-name brand from Amazon. Amazon's good for things like that. No-name brand tactical style flashlights like this. Let's just quickly go over the specs of the box. They claim it's 500 lumens, IP44, 6-foot drop resistance, run time 2 to 24 hours. And I've used this for a few days here, kind of played around with it just so I could get familiar with it, so that way I know what I'm talking about to you guys. But this is how it comes boxed, and when I got it I was really surprised how, you know, fancy it came boxed like this, and with all the accessories you get for the price. The lanyard comes attached to the flashlight. I just took that off because I kind of find those things annoying, you know, especially for flashlights. It's dangling in the way, but it comes attached. You open it up here, it comes with an adapter so you can put regular AAA batteries inside the flashlight, so that's kind of nice. You have the option to use regular batteries if you want. It does have an O-ring here, you know, for the water resistance. We'll go over that shortly. And here's the battery. It's a 18650 battery. It's kind of a popular rechargeable battery. Comes in this tube. Just insert it like that, positive side towards the light. Okay, and you get a, you know, little USB cord here. Looks like it's a decent length. I haven't used it, just use my ones I'm using now. So let's go over some of the features it has. Kind of has a tactical style top here to beat people with if you want. It is a zoomable lens. As you can see here, it goes up and down pretty smoothly. It does have a little play right there, but nothing really. It's not too annoying. Overall, it does seem really well made for the money. And right here, you see right there that little USB symbol. What you do, you just unscrew it like that. Comes down smoothly like that. You have access to the USB port and the charging light right there. And this orange ring here is O-ring. And you just screw it back up like that. And I believe there's another O-ring somewhere down in here. So it's relatively waterproof there. The top here on the lens, you can see that. Hopefully you can make that out. It's kind of like what they would refer to as a frog eye. Typically they do that for these zoomable lenses like that. And at the bottom here we have a nice bright orange switch. So that's kind of nice. So that way the flashlight's not totally black. That way hopefully it helps you from not losing it. And then right here you have this ring, kind of like an orange ring. That kind of helps to not lose it as well. It does glow up when you turn it on. We'll go over that shortly. And at this head here, you can see here, it does have this style of head where you can put it on a surface, stops the flashlight from rolling. It's not the best for stopping the flashlight from rolling, but it kind of helps still. Okay, this is a 5-mode flashlight. And typically on these lower end flashlights you get all these modes that typically for everyday work aren't really useful for most guys. But we'll go over that shortly. It's not really going to be too much of an annoyance for the most part from what I found out using it. So we'll go over all the modes here. We'll go high mode, which they claim 500 lumens. It's kind of hard to make out in the video, but just for my own, I don't have a meter to measure lumens, but to me it doesn't seem like 500 lumens. It is, you know, decently bright. We'll use the zoomable feature. Now you can see here this ring does light up. On camera it does look a little brighter than it is, but it does light up. Kind of annoying. It's kind of like, but I guess if you like Star Wars, you might, you know, think that's cool. What we're going to do, we're just going to zoom it in. You can see that ring get even brighter. So as you zoom in, that ring does get really bright, and it's kind of, when you zoom it in like that, this ring is kind of annoying to the eyes. It kind of distracts you, you know, from looking what you want to look at with the flashlight. But if you're just using it on wide mode here, it's not really annoying how that glows for the most part until you zoom in and it gets real bright. And I believe this is probably what they're referring to as 500 lumens. You can see it's brighter when it focuses like that. I guess you could say that's 500 lumens is probably what they're trying to say. And I will say about the light here, it's a nice, even, diffused light. So it is pretty pleasant as far as light output, I would say. It's pretty white. It's pretty white. It kind of has some blue accents to it, but for the most part, it's a white light. And we'll just click it off. And now we're in medium mode. Turn it off. Now we're in low mode. So you're not going to see this wave pattern here in real life. Just it's only showing up on camera. Over here you got strobe mode. So like that. You want to have a seizure, you could do that. And next mode is SOS mode. So if you get stuck, you know, camping or on a desert island, at least you have some way of getting help. Like, you know, so the strobe and SOS mode are, you know, kind of useless for the most part. The good thing about this flashlight, if you wait 20 seconds after turning it off, it defaults to the high mode. So for the most part, those modes, those useless modes aren't going to get in your way. When you have it on the high mode, it does kind of get a little warm, but it doesn't get hot. The switch doesn't have a momentary action, meaning you can just lightly tap on the switch to turn on the flashlight without fully engaging the switch. So it doesn't have that momentary mode there on the switch. However, what it does have, you can switch between modes by, when the flashlight's on, you can just like lightly tap on the flashlight to go between modes. So we're at medium, low, strobe, and SOS. Click it off. And they say it's a waterproof IP44. It's not technically waterproof, but what they mean by that is it can handle getting wet in probably a rainstorm or something like that. It's not rated to be fully submerged in water, like a bucket of water. So let's go over on how you charge it. Now, I was charging the flashlight and I was having some issues recharging the flashlight, so I have to read the instructions. Imagine that, reading instructions to use a flashlight. So what you have to do in order to charge the flashlight, you open it up there, get my USB cord here. And let's see, what you have to do before you charge it, you have to turn on the flashlight, then insert your USB cord, micro USB cord in there. Let's see if I get it. Okay, you can see it turns off, and it is glowing red. It's a light red, kind of hard to see in this in the light here. And then when that turns green, you're all done charging. And from fully depleted, it does take 6 hours to charge, so they're not joking about that. So let's say the flashlight's fully charged, you got the green light. What you have to do before you remove the USB cord, the micro USB cord, turn the flashlight back on, or click the button. You can see it turn green. Remove the cord, and you have to do it like that. So that's kind of like a little odd thing about it, but as long as you remember how to do that each time, it's not a big deal. And another important thing to know is in the instructions, they claim the max voltage 5 volts at 1.0 amp hours. So typically, you know, typical computer USB output is typically 1.0 amp hours. So you got to be careful not to use a higher amp rating output to plug in this flashlight. So that's one of the things why it takes so long to charge, is they're using this 1.0 amp hour charge rate for this flashlight. Okay, I'm in the dark corner of my street. There's some street lighting in person. You see from that street light down there. I can see it in person, but in this corner on the camera it's not showing up too well. I'm gonna turn on the light. It should be on high. You see it's pretty bright. See that orange ring glow there. There's a tree up there, up on the hill. Focus in. So that focus does help as far as lighting up something in the distance. I'm going to go to medium. You see that strobing action, but in person it doesn't really do that. Kind of whispering because it's kind of late at night here. Kind of in the corner. Don't want to seem like too much of a weirdo yelling. Focus. Okay, I'm gonna turn it on low. So you can see a difference on low. Not too bright. The focus beam. Gonna go spread out and low, but low up close. Wide beam is still pretty useful. Strobe. It's pretty bright. SOS. Okay, that's the orange ring with the light on wide mode there. Gonna go focus zoom so you get brighter like that. So it's pretty bright, that orange ring, once you zoom at night or in a dark area. Go back. So you're going to see the difference there.
To tell you, I'm not gonna tell you. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. I don't have to. I'm not gonna tell you. I don't have to tell you. I have to tell you. I don't have to tell you. I have to tell you. I don't have to tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. Just wait. Donald Trump rants and raves. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump rants and raves. Donald Trump. Oh, I'm not ranting and raving. I'm just telling you. I'm not ranting and raving. I love this. I love this. I love this. Let me just tell you something. That I don't have to tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. I don't have to tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. I don't have to tell you. Oh, tell you. And eventually you guys are gonna get tired of asking that question.